Cue the deep dramatic voice. 32 teams, 64 matches, 12 venues, 11 cities, 1 Russia. A solid month featuring some of the best players in the world, and possibly some mediocre ones too. Clubs around the world will be looking to buy new superstars, some of whom you've never heard of before and may well not hear from ever again. I am Jonathan Roberts, and I'm already starting to think that last-minute England call-up isn't going to happen anytime soon. But to discuss what to look forward to for Russia 2018, and joining me here in the SPH Pleasure Dome are ST Sports correspondents David Lee and Sazali Abdul Aziz. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Hi. Pleasure Dome?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I guess so.
Welcome to the SPH Pleasure Dome.
Yeah.
So, first question is, of course, are you excited for this World Cup? Do you think it could be a classic?
No. I think there's been quite a buzz over the. I mean, you can see it building, and then with social media, you see Peru, I think Argentina as well doing I guess promo videos, building up to the World Cup, and to rouse their supporters, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, if the Champions League was anything to go by, I think we could be in for a glut of goals. The knockout rounds used to be very tight affairs, but we've seen so many goals in the Champions League, so I hope that will continue in the World Cup.
The Champions League, I don't recall that. I believe this one was the year that they didn't have a final for the Champions League.
Yeah, Liverpool fan. Yeah.
I don't believe they had a final for this year's Champions League. No, I can't remember one anyway.
You guys want a replay?
They just played the Sergio Ramos Cup, that's all. Yeah.
Well, we all have our favourites in the World Cup. So which of the big teams are you rooting for?
For me, the first international team that I've heard about and watched, besides Singapore, of course, was Germany in 1990 when they won the World Cup. My first footballing hero was Jürgen Klinsmann, so I'll have a soft spot for them.
But that was when Germany was still quite boring.
Yeah, West Germany.
Oh, West, of course,
yeah,
yes.
That's right.
For me, I wouldn't say I'm rooting for them, but my favourites would be Brazil. I think same like Germany, they're one of the two sort of like tournament teams where they come good during the World Cup. And I don't know, I just have there's a good vibe about them heading to this year's tournament.
Well, interesting that you say they come good. Last one, they didn't come good. They went bad.
Yeah, they went
very bad.
Yeah, very bad. Yeah, in front of their own fans. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see.
Do you think they've made recovery? They can still do it?
Absolutely. I mean, you're going by qualifying, and I guess the spirit within the team, everything looks to be,
back to
perfect.
normal?
Even better than normal. So
it's a totally different Brazil team compared to 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Different manager, different setup, different players. They're no longer relying on just Neymar. They have 2 world-class goalkeepers. They have a world-class defensive midfielder in Casemiro. Maybe only the defense, which between Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, and Miranda. Maybe that's their only weakness, but...
So you think they've fully recovered after the tragedy of 4 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, if you go by qualification, they've absolutely breathed through. There's a good spirit in the team, it seems like, as they build up towards the tournament. You look at the squad, they've got, actually 2 great goalkeepers in Ederson, Alisson. They've got decent defenders, experienced defenders, strong midfield, creative attacking midfielders, and Neymar, Coutinho, and Firmino going forward. So yeah, I mean, there's an air of Brazil 2002 about them. So I feel like they could come good again.
Well, as a follower of England, I can't say I'm not jealous of anyone who's even got a choice of 2 goalkeepers. Now that you give me this wealth of who Brazil have, who are the other players that we should be looking forward to? Who are the stars of 2018?
If you want action, keep an eye out for Luis Suarez. You never know what he's going to do next. Handball on the line, biting someone, who knows? But if you're looking for goals, excitement, maybe the younger ones are like Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane. And if you're looking for someone more sentimental, swan song type, look out for Andres Iniesta. Yeah.
Of course, the other player that we should be looking at is Messi. He's going to be turning 31 during the tournament.
Yeah.
Technically, he could get another tournament out of him. He'll be 34, 35.
Yeah, he can play until 50 and he won't win.
Do you think Argentina have got a chance?
Not the way they are playing now. and with the number one goalkeeper out, the defense looking shaky, Messi is the only hope they've got. They've dropped Icardi, the Serie A top scorer. So who knows? I've spoken to Hernan Crespo, who says that he still doesn't think the Argentina team have got an identity about them, and I think that's their biggest worry.
This Argentina team seems to have the same problem, some Brazil teams in the past have, which is, they have so many attacking talents, but everywhere else on the pitch it's
mediocre.
It's mediocre.
Yeah.
It's like the saying where you have a short blanket, you pull it up and then your legs are exposed. You pull it down and your top is exposed.
That is a very interesting analogy, one that I'm sure I'm going to be using in later life. Not anytime soon, though. Saz, what players are you looking forward to see?
Other than what you said, Ronaldo, Messi, whether they can thrive on the world stage and lead their country to glory. I mean, there's Salah, of course, with the whole drama over his shoulder, whether he's going to be fit for the games, whether he can perform at his best, because he's been unplayable at times this season for that team from Merseyside, I think, right? Merseyside FC, or I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's also...
I will destroy you.
There's also Spain duo Saul and Marco Asensio, who were the stars of the Euro Under-21 Championship last year. So, they were fantastic last year. So, it would be nice to see if they can make the step up to senior international football.
Of course, the World Cup is not just about the big teams, it's also about the little teams, the ones that could, the underdogs, the Davids to the Goliaths. David, which small team are you looking forward to?
Yeah, that's convenient, yeah?
Yep.
4 years ago, you've had Costa Rica. 2 years ago in the Euros, you have Iceland. I'm looking forward to a new underdog, surprising everyone. For me, I'm keeping an eye out for Peru. Being in South America, I apologize. Their players are not that well known, except for maybe Jefferson Farfan, Pablo Guerrero, who just came back from.
And of course, Paddington Bear.
Yeah, he's not in the squad. Yeah, Guerrero just came back from a reprieve of his doping ban to score twice against Saudi Arabia in a friendly. I think they could do well to surprise in a group with France, Australia, and Denmark.
Saz, who are you looking forward to?
Well, they're not exactly small teams, but I've got two from Europe that could surprise a couple of people. First of all, Serbia, because basically they're spearheaded by the new Alan Shearer, Alexander Mitrovic. They were
good God
under 20 World Cup.
Does that mean he plays for Newcastle?
Absolutely. Well, on loan at Fulham for the second half of the season, but he'll be back.
So he's better then.
So anyway. They've got a bunch of good young players. They've got a good balance, in defense, midfield, good experience, and like I said, they were under 20 World Cup winners in 2015. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare. Also, the other team is Poland, basically because they got two creative midfielders in Zielinski and Linetti, and Milik and Lewandowski. They have two, actually world-class forwards. So maybe as a team, they're not blessed with a wealth of talent, but they've got, a handful of players who could do something special.
How do you think Iceland's going to do?
So they're in the so-called group of death against Argentina, Croatia, and Nigeria. All four of them, I think, have a reasonable chance of progressing. Iceland, this is their first World Cup, but in qualifying, they've already beaten Croatia. The first game will be against Argentina. I think they will rely on that teamwork again, like we've seen in Euros, to surprise. Whether they'll get far, I'm not too optimistic. I think just once and people know what the game is, basically.
Well, you talk about not being too optimistic. Just for tradition's sake, what do you think England's chances are?
I actually think they can pip Belgium to win the group. But that would mean they would possibly face Brazil, in the quarterfinal.
So you think they could get out of the group stages? Do you think they get past the round of 16?
Yeah, I do, because you're looking at the groups, possibly Poland or Colombia as runners-up opponents for in the last 16. So I think they can possibly squeeze through also. But then in the quarterfinals, will probably get Brazil. And like I said, shades of 2002.
I have to say, if you think they're going to get that far, there are a few people who want to sell you some magic beans around about now.
Exactly.
And you would buy them.
Exactly, I would. I love beans of all varieties. No, but really, I mean, obviously there's the history of England underperforming at the World Cup, but I don't know.
Underperforming is an understatement.
Yeah, exactly.
The last World Cup, I don't know even why they bothered to get on the plane.
But this is essentially a new England team. They are the big unknowns. I believe, if I'm not wrong, none of them have ever won a World Cup game. But they have young players. They could be fearless. The most important thing, I feel, is to get past that first game. Tunisia are no pushovers. Panama, possibly. And then you've got Belgium. And you go through the group stage, you meet the other group, which has Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan. So either of these four teams are beatable. And of course, if you get through to the quarterfinals, you could meet Brazil 2002 all over again. I don't think they will win the World Cup, but quarterfinals is a realistic.
Yeah, I think a quarterfinal knockout, it's a promising prediction for England.
Progress.
Okay, what's your ideal lineup for the final?
Iceland, Panama. No, I'm kidding. I mean,
That
ideal, right? But it's not going to happen. France, Belgium, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I like to see history happening. So a new winner, why not?
For me, again, I've mentioned it a number of times. I don't know why a repeat of the 2002 final, Germany and Brazil, and Brazil to win.
Magic beans.
Of course, the other reason that we have David here is that he is going to be our man in Russia.
That's right.
You're heading over to Russia just a few days before the World Cup. And what are you looking forward to?
Looking forward to, of course, a football fiesta. But other than that, the mingling with fans from different nationalities, experiencing Russia for the first time. A lot of bad press, on the net. So I'm just looking forward to find out for myself what it's really like.
So you're not worried?
No, not at all.
Okay, how prepared are you?
Yeah, I've been following the football for the past few months.
Well, of course you've been following the football.
Yeah.
I mean, how prepared are you to go to Russia? Have you been learning any Russian?
Russian? No, not really.
That's good that you say that, because I've picked out a few phrases, thanks to Google Translate.
Are they legal?
Oh, they are very legal. But these are phrases that you may well need to know going around Russia. So I'll just play them to you, and then you tell me what you think the translation is.
Okay,
So,
let's go.
number one.
Referee.
Is that a player from Nigeria or something?
Referee.
Referee?
I'm going to retranslate it in my best Jennifer Lawrence Red Sparrow outrageous Russian accent.
Okay.
Referee.
Referee.
It's referee.
Oh, okay.
You'll need to shout that from the stadium.
Referee.
Referee.
Referee. And you gotta give me some adjectives to go
Okay,
along with.
ready?
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Дэвид.
I hear my name, so my name is David.
Здравствуйте, меня
Is that-
зовут
That's
Дэвид.
right. Hello, my name is David.
There you go.
And then you can follow it up with...
Я ищу хорошее время. Я ищу хорошее время.
What?
I am looking for a good time.
I need that. Well, can you do that again?
Ищу хорошее время.
You can also, when it comes to the end, you can also ask,
Вы знаете дорогу в Сингапур? Вы знаете дорогу в Сингапур?
Which night they are all good in Singapore?
no, do you know the way to Singapore?
Oh, don't scare me, John.
Aside from the various match reports and missives that David will be sending back from Russia for the Straits Times, he will also be sending back some audio letters. You can catch those in the other podcasts that we'll be broadcasting over the World Cup period. David, what matches are you actually covering?
Okay, first of all, there's the opener, of course.
Of course.
Russia against Saudi Arabia. Statistically, the two worst-ranked teams. Followed up by, on the next day, possibly the best matchup in the group stage, Portugal against Spain. And then there are other games involving Argentina, Germany, and Brazil.
You can read David's match reports at straitstimes.com. Of course, you can also buy it in the paper as well. And straitstimes.com is where you can find more podcasts on various topics. And depending on where you are listening to this particular podcast right now, don't forget we are also on iTunes, YouTube and SoundCloud. And do listen in throughout the World Cup for our other World Cup podcasts. Until then, spasiba, do svidaniya, and goodbye.